We found $500,000 of American taxpayer money for electric buses in Rwanda. We found $3.6 million for pastry cooking classes and dance focus groups for male prostitutes in Haiti. $6 million for media organizations for the Palestinians. $833,000 for transgender people in Nepal. I kid you not. I'm not making this up.
If you didn't know, joining us now is Senator John Kennedy from the great state of Louisiana. He's got a brand new book out, How to Test for Stupid and Why Washington Never Will. It's on shelves tomorrow. We've just got to have all those items. I don't understand, Senator Kennedy. How can you beat up on those constituents?
Well, my Democratic colleagues want us to restore all of that. They want $1.5 trillion to open government back up, Larry, and that'll happen when donkeys fly backwards. We're not going to give in.
The other thing I just want to mention this is a very interesting book. I heard you on my dear friend Mark Levin's show last night.
Yeah.
Coming down back to New York on the radio, and so I want to read it carefully. I got through the first part of it, but I just want to ask you: there is an insurrection going on over these cities, Los Angeles, Seattle, Portland, Chicago. This is blue state Democrats versus the cops and versus ICE and versus law and order. And I think it's an abomination.
Well, it is, and here's what I don't understand. Just step back and look at it from 35,000 feet. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you're the mayor of a major city.
Right.
And you've got a crime problem, a huge crime problem. It goes up, it goes down a little bit, but it's still a crime problem. And somebody from the federal government says, I will offer to send in law enforcement officials to help you, and it won't cost you a dime. Mm-hmm. Now, any fair-minded mayor is going to say, well, sure, I can use all the help I can get. Mm. And it worked in Washington. It'll work in other places. And on top of that, for the cities that are sanctuary cities, they actually work against us in trying to deport foreign nationals who are in our country illegally. And if you look at it that way, it's just down to the marrow bone deep stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it's an insurrection. We quoted earlier in the Federalist Papers from Hamilton about moving the militia, the National Guard around. These lower judges are just impeding Trump's, and it's an easy one. This one's not hard. Perhaps some of Trump's agenda items are more this is too simple. This is protecting people. This is law and order and public safety. Anyway, you've been in the Senate a while now.
Yeah.
First of all, you're happy you're in the Senate. I've known you quite some time when I was in the government. And second of all, does the Senate work? In your judgment, does it work?
Well, I enjoy the Senate. You have good days, you have bad days, you never have a boring day. If you like policy, as I do, there's no better place than the United States Senate. But here's what took me a while to learn. 50% of your job, some people think it's 100%, they're wrong. 50% of your job, my job, is advancing good ideas. But the other 50% is killing bad ideas. And that's what we spend in the Senate a lot of time on the Republican side, is killing bad ideas. And sometimes that's as important as advancing good ideas through passing bills.
So in your term, and I want to ask you about working with President Trump, as I know you do, and you spent a lot of private time with Mr. Trump. What's he like in private time? And is he moving the country in the right direction in these areas? On the economy, for example, on law and order, on closing the border, and so forth. Are you satisfied with the job performance? Are you satisfied with the direction?
Well, here's my experience with President Trump. First, he's whip smart, whether you like the man or not. He's very, very, very smart. He does trust his instincts, but they're more often right than wrong. He learned a lot in his first term. He decided in the second term to be bold. Sometimes he's too bold. He exists loudly. You and I both know him. The president, how can I put it? He grows anxious when he has an unexpressed thought. He just says it. Now, for a president, from one point of view, he's transparent. From another point of view, It gets him in trouble a lot. But he is like that.
But he asks good questions. He asks tough
good questions, and he's like that in private, and he's like that in public. We have done a lot on the economy, much more than the president has talked about. And I have encouraged him to go ask for 30 minutes or an hour on television so you can talk to the American people what you're doing about regulation to lower the cost of goods and services and what we're doing to hold inflation in check. So far, he hadn't taken my advice on that, but the economy is important.
Others, I won't say whom, but others have agreed with you. You should give a national speech. As one of the others, I worked for Reagan many years ago. Reagan gave fabulous national speeches, prime time, on the economy and explained exactly what he was doing, and they were vastly successful. And I think Mr. Trump could do likewise. But it's not personal for me, but I don't like almost anything that Chuck Schumer is doing. I don't like it. I mean, it's a direct contrast. He wants to move the country in the wrong direction.
I don't hate anybody.
Neither do I.
And I know you don't. And when I say my prayers, I ask God, don't let me hate. I don't hate Chuck. Senator Schumer, I know him well. This shutdown's not about policy. It's about politics. And Senator Schumer, this is what's going on. He is trying to get the loon wing, the socialist wing of the Democratic Party, which is in control, to love him. And they will never love him. They won't. He'd be better off doing what he did back in March, and just calling it like he saw it and keeping government open. Because what he's saying, we're going to keep government shut down until you, the Republicans, and President Trump give the Democrats $1.5 trillion, and they're going to tell us how to spend it.
We just had John Thune on, Majority Leader of the Senate, who said we can't do that.
And we're not going to do that.
You cannot do that.
We're not going to. I mean,
and Schumer has to know that.
And he does know that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you how this will end. It will end eventually when Senator Schumer goes to 6 or 8 of his members and the Democrats and says, do me a favor, vote to open it back up. I may have to criticize you. I'm not going to vote with you, but I need a way out of this. I need an offering.
That's the offering.
And that's what's going to happen. But he's got to be careful, because if it looks contrived, he's blown it. And he can't look like he's having a mutiny. But that's how we'll open back up.
So let me come back to this book. We don't have enough time, but one of the funniest people ever to serve in the Senate is former Senator and now Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Yeah, Rubio's a total banger.
In November 2020, Rubio stood up during lunch, this is a policy lunch, and referring to, this is 2020, referring to President John F. Kennedy's assassination on November 22nd, 1963. He said, "This week, I want all of us to keep President Kennedy in our thoughts." I'm sorry, I can't keep straight. And then he said, "I also want us to remember Ted Cruz's father, who killed him."
Well, we remember that when Ted was running against the president said one time, "Cruz, your dad killed JFK." And Cruz goes, "What?"
Really?
And of course it wasn't true. But Rubio, people don't see it because
he's wonderful.
But he is behind the scenes. He's funny
wonderful.
as hell. And that's a true story. He did that.
He's a good friend. Are you going to go around the country and sell this thing?
Yep. How to test negative for stupid and why Washington never will. It's not a policy book. It's a story book that talks about policy.
All right, terrific stuff. You are one of the best of the best. It's a pleasure to
Thank
be
you,
your
Professor.
friend, and it's always a pleasure to have you.
We miss you in
on
Washington, man.
Senator John Kennedy of the great state of Louisiana, and the book is going to be a great read. How to test stupid, but why Washington never will. I got to get going.